Hey everyone, welcome to the Fargo 3D Printing Show, podcast number 30. John Schneider, Jake Clark today on the podcast. We're going to talk quite a bit about MakerBot and then an event that you went to a couple weeks ago now.
Yep.
You were on the news for it, so, well, not interviewed, but you're at least on, they saw the back, your good side, they saw the back of your head.
Okay.
Anyway, so MakerBot, big announcement. Couple days.
Yeah, not really a fun announcement.
No,
so MakerBot
never.
this is a two-parter. MakerBot is laying off 20% of its workforce. Stratasys. So to kind of give a backstory to this, Jonathan Jaglom, I think is the guy's name. New CEO of MakerBot. So you had Brie Pettis, which stepped down this past summer, and then what was the name of the interim CEO?
Jenny Lawton was one of them.
Yep. Then Jenny Lawton was the interim CEO.
But I think there was somebody else in there.
No.
I think they've been four. I think there was four.
No, Jenny Lawton, and then Jenny Lawton has taken a different position within Stratasys.
She's actually
and now
upstairs.
Jonathan Jaglom is the CEO of MakerBot, and he came from managing, I think, Stratasys in all of Asia.
All of Asia.
So with a new CEO is going to come a lot of changes. There really hadn't been any layoffs since Stratasys had purchased MakerBot, and so a lot of the staff that they're laying off is just a lot of redundant staff. So I think it's MakerBot's around a 500-person company, so they're laying off around 100 people. Again, their reasoning behind this is that there's just a lot of crossover. There are a lot of redundant positions. I mean, now that it's owned by Stratasys, there's no point in having two of the same person.
Yeah.
I think the thing that was most interesting about this announcement, though, is the second part of this announcement is that they're closing all three of the retail stores. So they had they had three retail stores. One was in Boston, and did they have two in New York, or was it one in New York? I think one was in New York. Maybe the other one was in Baltimore. It was something like that.
I don't know, but I mean, we went to one last year, and it wasn't anything to get excited about. It was just like, oh yeah, printers in a retail space.
So cool. I guess I'm not really too surprised that they're closing down the retail store. I mean, it's just MakerBot distributes so much of their stuff through other distributors
Channels.
and resellers. I mean, we're a perfect example of that. We resell MakerBot printers. So if someone wants to take a look at a MakerBot 3D printer, they're going to come to us. They're not going to go to a retail store and take a look at that.
Yeah.
I think what the MakerBot retail stores got used for the most, actually, was people who wanted to custom 3D print something. Between that and picking up materials, I don't think there were many people that walked into a MakerBot store and said, all right, today's the day I'm going to buy a 3D printer.
Yeah.
I just don't think it, I mean, it's probably not
more of people
efficient.
walking in and saying, oh, I wonder what this is all about.
Yeah.
And then looking at it.
Yeah, it's maybe not, maybe it wasn't a big revenue generator for MakerBot.
I'd be surprised if they even broke even on the stores.
Well, yeah, because they usually had three people working at the store at a time.
Yeah. So I mean, that's, if you're paying them here minimum wage, that's like $25,000 a year.
Right.
So right there, you're already how much into it?
I can tell you they're making more than minimum wage. But,
I think minimum. I think in there is like $15.
No,
isn't it?
But market rate is considerably higher than market rate for employment is here. Just because cost of living is that much higher to be able to employ someone
out there.
Yeah, but it's not really minimum wage. Anyway, the fact that they laid off 100 people, no one's really surprised by it. I can't imagine.
I'm sure it didn't come sooner.
Yeah, that was the more surprising part. I think it was more since Jenny Lawton was interim CEO. She didn't really want to make any big sweeping changes until the main CEO was in place, and so it's not really a surprise. And MakerBot's reputation has had quite a hit this last year too, hit in a negative way.
If you haven't been seeing a lot of the news,
it's just the whole smart extruder fiasco and the fact
they
that
released it a year too early.
Yeah, the fact that they shipped.
That's really what happened.
They shipped the 5th gen. Yeah, they shipped the 5th gen a year early. I mean, right now it's not a bad machine. It's actually a pretty good machine, but it was so bad for so long.
Yeah.
It was so bad for a while. I mean, and so anyone that got started with MakerBot because of the reputation that MakerBot had, I mean, MakerBot, the Replicator 2, Replicator 2X, great machines, great reputation, pretty reliable.
Still are.
Yeah, they still are. And then when the 5th gen came out, and it was a big step backward. I mean, a huge step backward. So people bought the 5th gen thinking, okay, well, if the Rep 2 is this good, the 5th gen has to be that much better. And then they get it, and I mean, I think a lot of people had their first impressions of 3D printing soured by MakerBot.
Oh yeah.
And so they've lost a lot of that goodwill. They've lost a lot of that reputation. I think Stratasys this last year, I forget which earnings report it was, but they actually wrote off a few $100,000 worth of goodwill toward MakerBot. Meaning, you can put a dollar amount on goodwill toward your company. So basically, you can assign a dollar value on how people feel about your company, and MakerBot lost that much of it. I mean, a substantial amount of it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a long way to go to come back. I'm sure they'll end up getting it figured out. Hopefully, these cuts mean that they don't make the same mistakes that they did before.
Well,
Hopefully, it means that they make a better product. But I mean, right now, there's a lot of printers out there that are at a better price and better performance than the MakerBots. I mean, depending on what you're looking for. So, I don't know. Hopefully, they get it back. Jake,
Sorry.
Jake, what the heck?
I don't know.
Okay, so that's kind of the MakerBot layoff stuff. Any other stuff that you can think about for that?
Well, not for the layoffs, but the other thing for the MakerBot was, so we tried the PrintShop. What is it, Eric? I don't remember.
PrintShop Shape Maker.
PrintShop Shape Maker. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, so MakerBot has an app for the iPad, so for iOS it's called PrintShop, and what they added a new feature to PrintShop. So PrintShop is the app, ShapeMaker is the feature within it.
So Eric drew this earlier, just I don't know how long ago, probably like 20 minutes ago.
Half an hour, yeah.
Half hour ago. And then from that, he actually printed a little dude or female, whatever it is. Printed something. So it was able to take the black marker and actually make it into a surface or into a solid and then extrude it. So it works like we could actually extrude this up and make a taller part with that profile. So it's kind of like an extrusion piece. So it's kind of neat. I mean, it's going to get some kids into it a lot more where they can just draw something and then be able to maybe, 3D print a scenery or something.
Well, and one of the big things that people ask all the time, I mean, 3D printing is pretty popular in high schools, pretty popular in middle schools. I get a lot of elementary school teachers asking me, okay, when are my second and third graders going to be able to do something with this? Well, there's just not many classes that do 3D modeling at that age level.
It's too early. Let's be honest.
I think it's too early to have the entire class do that. I think you're going to have probably a quarter to half the class that would be able to handle it, but the other half of the students just won't be able to handle learning that stuff.
I think it's too early, but that's just me.
And so to be doing any serious 3D design, I mean, when I talk about that, I'm not talking about Autodesk Inventor or Fusion 360. I mean, I'm talking like Tinkercad.
Yeah.
I mean, Tinkercad.
Still, for sixth graders, it's still for them to grasp.
I think you're about half and half. But for this, now kids know how to use markers. So I mean, they don't always know how not to use markers, but they do know how to use them.
Four walls.
Yeah. So
somebody walked in.
But I mean, for them to be able to sketch something and then have that made, have a 3D printer make that, a lot of times the kids just get excited about the 3D printer. They get excited about the technology. They may not get excited about the design process because it's probably going to be too intimidating.
Yeah.
But this is very approachable.
They just draw something and then be able to print it theoretically.
Yeah, I mean, because really the only interface part is the iPad. The teacher will be able to use the iPad and the app. You might even have some students able to use the iPad and the app.
Well, I have my nephew, who I think is 2 and almost 5. I have 2 nephews, and they already know how to run the iPhone. They're looking through pictures. Oh, yeah. They're playing, hitting the play button. So I mean, even at their age, they're not even kindergarten yet. They could kindergartens and second graders can easily go and hit the camera button, I think.
Right.
So
yeah.
But so we decided that we were going to print. So this is a picture of John. We drew this, and we're going to actually print these and see how they turn out. And I did a better job, believe it. I think I did a better job.
Oh, no, you did a better job.
I look like I'm wearing a German helmet in that one.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be Jake. There's a reason. There's a reason why when I was a kid I was a reader. I was not a drawer. Artistic ability eludes me, and I don't have the patience for it. So this is Jake drawn in about, I'd say, less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The fact that it even took me 5 minutes to do this should let you know kind of where my artistic abilities lie. So
a German helmet on, it would look a little bit. I don't even have sides of my glasses.
Yeah,
on.
I just realized that. It's sort of attached to your face. But we're gonna try this out. I think Eric's gonna see if we can actually get these printed. Maybe they're even already popping up. in the video.
Yeah,
when this is.
I don't know, but it's going to be interesting to see see how this application is going to kind of grow and run with it.
Yeah.
Because maybe someday there will be a case where you can bring in a couple pictures and actually take a picture and make a 3D model. I know we've had a couple people ask us that, and so it'd be interesting to see where this is going to go in the future.
Yeah, and we've had so kind of tying into this. A couple weeks ago, I was at an event called Marketplace for Kids. It was talking about technology in the future. Basically, you have a bunch of 4th through 6th graders that come in and they learn about all the different careers that are available in sort of like the high-tech field. So this was held at the Fargo Microsoft campus, and you had companies there, like RDO. They had their drones.
Which is a tractor company.
Yeah, well, farm implement, agricultural.
Farm implement.
Yeah, so all that stuff. I mean, they're all across the country, but I think they're headquartered here in Fargo.
Yeah, they will be downtown Fargo.
Yeah. And so they had a drone, and they were talking about how drones and UAVs are being used for agricultural purposes. Then there was another one, I forget what the name of the company was. I think it was Apario Systems, and they were showing off ultrasonic, how things are able to see using sounds. So they had a bunch of ultrasonic sensors. They had a little robotic car.
Agricultural electronics company.
Yeah, and then Microsoft was there, of course, showing off their different things, their different technology, future tech stuff. I know that they talked about the HoloLens. I don't think they had one there, but they did talk about it. And then I was there talking about 3D printing. Well, so I had a group of about 40 to 50 4th through 6th graders and had them for 45 minutes. Right. And then they'd rotate and go around to the other group. So 45 minutes, you're not going to have enough time to design something with the students and be able to print it off. There's not enough time. But I was able to talk about 3D printing. I had a Lulzbot Mini there printing things. And so they were able to get an idea of what the printer did, how it worked, being able to send it from the software to the printer itself.
Kind of like what the technology is all about.
Yeah. So, I mean, it got them excited about it. And then for the activity, I had printed out a bunch of SimCity 2000 little buildings and told them to design a city of the future, use 3D printed models to be able to tell a story about why they designed the city that they did. I mean, the kids had a blast. I mean, they loved it. I mean, even though they weren't designing something in 3D printing, they still got excited about the technology. So, I mean, you never know. Maybe some of those kids, instead of never knowing what they want to do for a career, they might get excited about engineering or design and then pay more attention to their math and science classes when they go through school. I mean, I know.
It's kind of the impact and the reason.
Well, and I've said this before, but if I would have had exposure to that kind of stuff when I was a kid, I would have cared about my math classes.
Yeah.
As it was, I just kind of went through them and did good enough, got decent grades, but didn't really care. So of course I didn't have engineering in mind for a career.
I did. I planned math all the way. I took one or two maths every single semester. I think we were on. No, were we on quarters? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then you get to college and you're like, math, holy cow, it was really fast.
Yeah. So that was a fun event. Then we were also at a North Dakota STEM
Network.
Yep, the North Dakota STEM Summit was last week, so I was there demonstrating 3D printing, helping the teachers understand how 3D printers work.
Didn't you have a bunch of second graders come up to the table then?
Yeah, I got on the third day I got swarmed by a group of second graders, and I don't know.
Can I have this? Can I have this? Can I have this?
Yeah, and thankfully I had a big box of samples with.
Well,
otherwise,
you should have gave all the whistles out because the parents would have.
I specifically said, kids, you can take anything but the whistles.
Oh, that would have been the best one.
I would have.
You would have not been invited back.
I would have been killed.
But
so I don't know. I mean,
remembered.
It's cool to see how much 3D printing can impact education, even at that young of an age, second grade.
Oh yeah.
I think the kids are definitely excited about that stuff.
Definitely.
But I think that's all I've got.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go see how poorly your face prints.
Yeah, then yours is just the thing of nightmares.
Oh, when you're starting to draw, I was like, I do not look like a goat.
So anyway, on behalf of Jake Clark and myself, John Schneider, thanks again for watching the Fargo 3D Printing Show, or listening if you're on iTunes. If you are on iTunes, definitely hit the subscribe button. You can listen to us every single week. If you haven't already subscribed to us on YouTube, do that too. All the other social media channels, check us out there. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, you name it, we're probably there.
We have a weekly podcast. We'll be coming out with some new how-to videos, some new training videos as well for the 3D printer, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
So that's what, subscribe and you'll be able to hear or see all that stuff and be aware of when it comes out.
Yeah, and if you have any comments on anything we talked about or any questions, definitely throw it down in the comment section on YouTube.
Or any topics you want us to cover.
Yeah, that'd be great too. If there are any topics or things you want more information on, let us know.
Our opinion on some things. I know we did pretty much our opinion on Kickstarters and 3D printers, and got some good conversation started there. So if there's anything that you want our opinion on from the 3D printing side, definitely throw that topic down there as well.
Yeah. So again, on behalf of both of us, thanks for watching.
Bye.
That's the ceiling. I was just trying to get around.
Poking holes in our roof.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody else is paying for rent this month.